cigarette in hand. It's serious. Welcome all. Alan's Chronicles here. The title of the video. Just let me address something very clearly and succinctly. This is not a conspiracy video. I don't do that. I might occasionally because I get drawn in like everyone else. But this is not about conspiracy. This is not about the Epstein files. This is not to denigrate, to disempower, to dismiss, to retry, to revisit. I don't want details. If people who are involved in the Epstein collaboration worldwide, as it appears, are caught, convicted and punished, then that's the outcome. But my question for myself is, we have a lot of, and I'm included, we have a lot of rage, we have a lot of anger about the lack of transparency. That we didn't get the information. So I guess, and it's a question I'm asking myself, I haven't fully formed an answer, is modern moral attention, right? It's driven by less severity and more by concealment, revelation, hypocrisy, and status violation. So are we outraged because we weren't supposed to know, or are we outraged because we now know? So are we outraged because everyday cruelty doesn't mobilize us? Yep. Because the everyday cruelty we can see around the world, we know it's there. And this is not some sort of social warrior stance, it's just a fact. Since we've had records of known man, we've had unspeakable acts of cruelty on scales we can't even comprehend. We see it and we still comprehend it. You guys know what I'm talking about. And in the modern day world, you've got totalitarian states with totalitarian behaviors, North Korea. You've got examples of absolute degradation and no societal control, no societal structure. It appears in places like the Yemen, South Sudan and Somalia. And then you've had the Congo, which we know is all this. We had Uganda. It's happening. And we've had the gangs in England. We have an apathy to that in time because we'll move on. The news cycle, our attention, our rage bait. But that's always been the case, I would argue, that we've always just moved on. But why does the Epstein one bother us so much? Is it because there go I, but for the grace of God? Isn't it? I'll tell you, it's an anecdote, really. It's based on, I think it's Burnham at 65, some psychological experiments. But basically the story, and I think you guys will have heard it before, it goes like this. A man walks into a room, he's waiting for an interview, an appointment. Very important appointment, he's really focused. And then there's nothing in the room, no reading material, just a red book on the table, and it's closed, clasp locked. Not locked, but clasp locked. And he's told by the person as it's been, under no conditions must he look in that book. That book is dangerous, it's not for him, he's not allowed to look, it's forbidden, he mustn't look. And then he's left alone for 45 minutes. What happens? He looks. Is that what's happening? We want to know what was inside the red book. We want to look because that exposes us to something we hope we aren't, that we have that sense of moral superiority, that it isn't us. I don't know. I do know that people will be, this will be prefaced. I understand there's lots of righteous anger about what happened to the victims. That's not what this is about. But why is this one mobile as this? Because it's politicians, because it's a worldwide scandal. We've had that before. Every political party that ever existed has had a scandal that's involved drugs, sex, whatever. It's always been there. Financials, bribery, everything. Every crime imaginable has been committed by every celebrity and every politicians that have ever existed. It's just, it is. Do we assign them sort of a status they don't deserve, and then we get disappointed when they don't reach out, when they don't maintain it? I'm just looking at some of the events that have happened here. And are we annoyed because the illusion of our progress, AI and technology, Elon's got men going to the moon, and yet it doesn't protect us from the base reality. We're not really any different than what we were 300 years ago. We just built better gadgets. Yeah. Is it that? Yeah, so the barbarianism inside of us. Yeah. Because if Epstein's framed as exceptional, monstrous, shocking, then the background assumption is that this is not who we are anymore. But it is who we are. Yemen, North Korea, Somalia. It is who we are. It is. That's what I would argue. And that's what I was thinking about. And again, if you look at transparency, it becomes the enemy because of that. How normal cruelty still is. But yet we still want to see it. And this is away from the absolute honest justice that people will want to see. There is a subset to that, I feel. And I don't think it's hard to argue against it. The fact that, no, it is hard to argue against it, that the Red Book is that Epstein's files. Epstein doesn't matter. Yeah, Epstein doesn't matter. And I'm not saying justice shouldn't happen. But I'm saying that I'm not pretending that the selective moral outrage that we have sometimes equals moral seriousness. Yeah, I'm not a nihilist. It's just, that is just historical literacy. And yet when we get events like Epstein, we want to pile onto it. And in elements that I've already said, it is righteous. Yeah. It's almost like society needs these symbolic scandals. I mean, I've looked at some of the email, some of the disclosures, and there's some way out stuff on there. And that's not me saying it's a conspiracy. But the more they give us, the more we're going to want, the more there'll be 1,000 videos a day. So are you going to get drawn into it? Where do you feel why are you watching it? If you're 100% honest with yourself, is what I've said valid? Because I'm only asking myself. I question myself on everything I'm supposed to say, read, and believe. I believe that Epstein did those things he did. That's not in doubt. I believe the victims. That's it. Get them all punished, get all those people involved, lock them up. And if you want harsher punishments, go lobby a political government and increase punishments for the next time they catch someone doing this. Because there will be a next time. And it will be worse. And it will be more outrageous. Just because we've got AI doesn't mean we're not, on the whole, at times, evil incarnate. I'm not offering solutions. If you want solutions, find them within yourself. That's why it's an uncomfortable question to ask about Epstein. It's not historically important. It is culturally important today. For the victims, it's their history. It's not my story. I'm not going to re-traumatize them. Because transparency doesn't mobilize morality. The narrative does. It's the story. Human beings, we don't respond, really, in general. I know there are events we'll see, but we move on quickly to suffering by scale, frequency, or visibility. We react to outrage. 6 months of famine barely moves the needle. Decades of dictatorship become background noise. Millions dead becomes an abstraction. But a list, a name, a scandal, a fall from grace, that feels actionable, right? We can do something about that. It's immediate, it's in front of us. It's an inversion. Because if cruelty is fully visible, persistent and structurally embedded, why does it fail to provoke constant outrage? Because outrage really, it isn't about ending suffering. That's about maintaining our old sort of moral self-image. The whole Epstein thing, I think it allows people to condemn without sacrifice, to judge without responsibility, to rage without implication. And I'm not, I don't believe I'm any better than the next person. I guarantee you, I scream at the screen as well. But I'm just asking myself some questions. For me, history won't ask us whether we're shocked. It'll ask us what we normalized. So get in the comments, guys. Remember, I'll finish with this. The victims of Jeffrey Epstein and all those involved, not only are they the most important thing in this, they should be given, and expect and have justice within the confines of the law at its most extreme delivery point, the most extreme punishment anyone that's involved can get, whether that's including social alienation, political failure, whatever it is people see that these people suffer from this, that's their outcome. It'll never be as bad as the victim's outcome. I'm just not going to allow myself to judge without question what it is I'm thinking, and judging what it is I actually feel, what it is I actually want, what is it that actually drives me when I see the Epstein files and I want to click it. Till next time, guys. Join in, let me know your thoughts. Take care.